Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Speyside Backbenchers series with a twist today. So, for those of you coming into this late, I should explain what this series is and kind of why I'm doing it. So, theoretically, the job of the big channels that are not me, sort of the big whiskey channels, Scotchy, malty channels, those guys. What they should be doing is providing consumer information and advice on all the whiskey being made in Scotland, from the big famous producers, big famous, thoroughbred blue chip distilleries, but also maybe some of the distilleries that don't get as much hype, that get attention that is just not commensurate with the quality of what they are putting out or could be putting out. That should be how it works. Here's the thing. Those channels seem to have all figured out that the algorithm and their viewers don't reward them for talking about things that the viewers don't already know about, and that the algorithm hasn't already predicted is going to be popular. So if they were to start talking about, I don't know, Glenkeith, they would suddenly find their viewership absolutely plummet. And as a result, all these channels seem to have decided we're just going to talk about the same gosh darn 15 to 20 distilleries over and over and over and over and over again. And that's not right. So it's up to little channels like me. I don't even focus on Scotch. Like I should be doing grappa and slivovitz and things. It's up to little channels like me to kind of step in to fill the information gap. So I've been doing this series on Speyside because I believe Speyside is the most underrated region in Scotland. And you could say to that, that's crazy. The first bottle of single malt Scotch that everyone buys is a Macallan or a Glenfiddich or a Glenlivet, and I say yes. But I'm really talking about the enthusiast crowd here, the kinds of people who actually go and watch lots of YouTube videos and this stuff. That crowd, yeah, they buy their Glenlivet 12 first, and then they move on to Ardbeg or Clynelish or something like that, and they decide the Speyside is boring and they never really go back to it. Caveat. There are a couple of distilleries in Speyside that still get a little bit of hype. You've got your Ben Romucks, much respect to Ben Romuck, Mortlock, others, Craigalky too. But we're talking like maybe a few more beyond that. But you're talking about a region with over 50 distilleries in it, and it's really like 6-8 of them that get any kind of attention. I mean, you could also make a case for Lowlands as the most kind of overlooked, underrated region, but I feel like Lowlands to some extent is still in the oven. Keep an eye on the Lowlands, because you've got two distilleries that are owned by big old corporations that don't know what to do with them. You think Diageo knows what to do with Glenkinchie? You think Signatory knows how to treat Auchentoshan? They do not. You've got two, Daffmillan and Bladnoch, which they have old stocks. They don't have a lot of them for different reasons. You got a whole bunch of newcomers that are just really getting up to speed right now. So I'm still going to say Speyside as proportionally the most underrated. So that is what this series has been about. So try to taste out all of these kind of obscure, underrated distilleries to see what they got. And today, however, I am changing up the playbook because I'm not seeking out distilleries I have not tasted yet before. I am going back to distilleries I have tasted previously that kind of impressed me relative to the amount of hype they got. And we're going to repeat the experiment just to see if we can make lightning strike twice, because that's a good indication. And one of these distilleries is going to get a little special treatment because I have 3 samples to get through. Glenbergie would have been in this if I had a Glenbergie, but I don't. I keep drinking them. I have 3 Tormores to get through, and the last Tormore I had was absolutely killer. So we are going to try half of the flight is going to be Tormores, basically. So let's get this finished pouring, and we shall get started. Starting with these 3, we got an Inchgower, a Knockdhu, and I know a Knock exists, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about why this is in the flight. And then three Miltonduff, and then 3 Tormores. This should be fun. Let's get started. All right. This is the one I actually bought a bottle of. A very, very kind first person muled this to me. This is a 21-year-old Inchgower from really the northeast coast of Speyside. Bourbon Hogshead. I've had a couple of Inchgowers, not that many. All of them have been sherry up to this, so I'm really curious to see how this is. This is a 21-year-old, but distilled 1997, but it was cheap, which was the attraction. So, yeah, very, very kindly muled to me. 52.8% alcohol by volume. It is cask number 18-2102, bottled by Valinch and Mallet. And, here's the thing about Inchgower. You look at the stats. You look at it on paper. Nothing about Inchgower is interesting. Honestly, the location maybe we're kind of right by the coast is about the best you could do. But you've got shell and tube condensers, no worm tubs, unpeated malt, basic standard double distillation, quick fermentation. Nothing looks particularly sexy about steam powered heating. Nothing looks sexy about Inchgower, but you stick your nose into it. There's some aggression here. Sorry, I'm going to clear my nose out because I'm still getting over a bug from this weekend. Apologies. I swear my taste buds are back, even though I'm still a little gunky. I tested myself earlier. I mean, this is a little bit of a beast. It's very, very spicy. Spicy boy. I am getting like curries. It's a little bit of like somewhere in between like a Thai curry, like a massaman, like a nutty curry, with like a yellow curry from South Asia, from India somewhere. Definitely some curry. There's a lot of like a sea salty element to this. Vanilla, campfire ash. But then there's some fruit, like there's some pear, apple mix. I mean, very identifiable as a malt whiskey. Certainly herbaceous too. I mean, usually when I think herbaceousness in the Speyside, I think worm tubs, but no worm tubs here. But here we are. Hard to nail down what herbs. I'm going to go thyme. But then there's like shortbread cookies kind of interrupting the herbs. Like very buttery cookies. Thyme. I'm going to go sage. Just some like wet leaves, forest leaves. I mean, so when I've had sherried Inchgowers, it's put me in mind of Bunnahabhain, to be honest. This is we're still kind of there. It still has that leafy, savory, sea salty Bunnahabhain-y thing, but there's something else in here. There's tea leaves. There's black tea leaves. There's a little bit of a aggressive orange zest thing, which it's almost like a halfway point in between like a Bunnahabhain and an Anok. If that makes sense. And we have Knockdhu coming up, so we can test that. That's kind of the energy on this. More wood coming out, more shortbread, but it's like half burned shortbread. I did check the I didn't read reviews, but I did check the whiskey-based scores on this before I got it, and they are not high. People did not seem to like this whiskey, and I think they are wrong. That being said, I haven't tasted it yet. So let's give this a shot on the palate. Yeah. I adore this. This is my kind of thing. I have a feeling there are a lot of malt heads out there that will not like this style. It's just not going to be their thing. Oh, God, what a brute. Very spicy. Again, mixtures of different curries. Nutty curries, red curries, yellow curries, herbs, sage, touch of basil, thyme, but just like wet forest leaves, campfire ash. Big old aggressive back end on this, but it's not. It doesn't feel out of balance to me. Oh. Yeah, pear compote. A little bit of like 25% apple in your compote there, but dominated by pear. Little dab of like bitter honey, like a honeydew honey. The shortbread cookies again, campfire ash, vanilla. A little burst of flowers that comes out in the mid palate, and then it just grabs your your tongue with like bitter tea leaves, campfire ash, some black pepper. What? No, white pepper. It's not actually that earthy. Or rather, the earthiness is more from the tea leafy thing than. Some of this is making sense. I'm gonna suppose that this is making sense. I'm drinking this. Jesus. Orange peel, bergamot peel. I mean, this is a fighter. Like you're a lot of people are just not going to like this, but for me, for my palate, this combination of almost Bunnahabhain or Highland Parky, but no peat. Kind of leafy maritiminess with the austerity, like an austerity which is more like kind of the Speyside, the deeper cuts in the Speyside catalog. This combination is this is good. This is good stuff for me. We're not going to get in the 90s with this. It doesn't have the complexity. It doesn't quite have the total dominance of my palate on the finish. But I do not regret my purchase. Wow. Oh, there's a little bit of like a Italian roast coffee thing on this too. Definitely one to know what you're getting into before you grab a bottle of this, because it is, it's not friendly. This is going to fight you. But I think the people giving this, 83s, 84s on Whiskey Base or whatever. I haven't looked at the scores really. They're out of their mind. This is better than that. All right. 1, 2. I'm going to say 3. Oh my God. If water it makes this present sweeter and more delicious, I'm going to have to do a lap around the room. Okay. Moving on. Oh, this is the one that people might actually know of. Knockdhu. 16-year-old. This is, Joe didn't write down the stats, but I can pull them up right here. Yeah, this is a Signatory 2008 Knockdhu from a second fill Oloroso butt, number 7. Bottled very, very recently, but it's a 16-year-old. So now the reason why this is here is despite the fact that Knockdhu obviously have their own official bottling series called a Knock. It's very confusing. They didn't want to lose sales to Knockdhu, I guess. Despite that, you don't care about them. There was no one cares about a Knock or Knockdhu. There was a hot moment when Ralphie went crazy over, it was an 18 or 21-year-old. And everyone went, wow, wowie zowie, Knockdhu. And then everyone forgot about it and moved back to Ardnamurk, whatever. But I think people are missing the boat on Knockdhu. It's really an austere style. I mean, probably more so than the Inchgower is really. You're talking warm tubs. You're talking tea leaves, bitter citrus, grunge, Speyside grunge. And I love the stuff. And this is a 16-year-old in Oloroso, so I want to try it. And it's not too expensive either. Ooh. You're not going to miss the Oloroso. Yep, we are. We are deep into Swisher Sweets and chocolate oranges. And, well, figs, but it's not dried figs. This is like fresh figs. Bitter oranges, like really bitter orange peel. Quite a lot of flowers on this as well. Big old floral explosion. Almost potpourri-like, bordering on potpourri, but nice. More Swisher Sweets. There is some savoriness going on. There's like a beef bouillon kind of thing. Yeah, tea leaves, absolutely. It's hard to cut through the wood on this. The Oloroso was not subtle. But yeah, you're getting like a mix of, I would say, mostly black teas, maybe with a little bit of of oolongs thrown in. But certainly also some graininess, some graham crackers in there. Lemon peel, aromatic lemon peel. Apple cheese. Oh, that's a big one. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised there's a second fill because it is very, very sherry dominant. But, you can, it's one where the color of the distillate is still kind of getting through there. I'm really enjoying the kind of potpourri floral thing. Let's see what we got on the palate. This is a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde character. You have a very, very fruity, almost sweet arrival up front. And then, half a second into it, it just switches into, really austere and, all the fruit and the sensation of sweetness kind of fades away. Let me see if I can get a handle on this. Yeah, really juicy up front. There's I don't know if fig, what's the fruit roll up. If fig fruit roll up existed, this would be what it tastes like. Also chocolate orange, lots of kind of candied oranginess up front, and chocolate, but really, yeah, some chocolate orange, but also just orange candy, man. A lot Swisher Sweets, flowers. Graham crackers, big old, just it's just like your glucose monitor is going to start beeping at you like sugar bomb stuff, and then it's just kind of gone. Yeah, you got your lemon. Oh, there's that savory touch again. A little bit of like you took a little taste of your better than bouillon beef. Yeah, but then as it kind of moves on, it's you're moving into bitter orange, tea leaves, black pepper, bitter lemon as well. A little bit of ashiness, like cigar ash. And these would be things I'd be fine with all of this if, like, there was a little bit more consistency and balance in how the profile was working. But it really feels like someone's hitting a switch halfway through my mouth. And we're switching from, desserty, sherry bomby dram to a knock, like halfway through, or, Knockdhu halfway through. I love both of those things, but I want those sides talking to each other a little bit more. I want to see what this does with water. Water could bring this together. What I'm really hoping for is that the water will kind of blow the sherry off a little bit. I'm not sure if this was full maturation in sherry. I don't know. I'm guessing it wasn't, and maybe water will just blow that off a little bit and kind of let the knockiness, the knockdewiness shine through. I'll do one more. But I'm already having fun with this. Both of these are weirdos, but they're fun and they're good. So we're already off to a good start, and let's move on to the Miltonduff. All right. Miltonduff, this is a Signatory. Another Signatory. This is from their 100 proof series, so this is a vatting of a couple of barrels, I guess. 100 proof edition number 24. In first fill bourbon barrels, you thought the 100 proof series was entirely, sherry bombs and stuff. No, this is bourbon. And it's an 8-year-old from 2015. It's 57.1%, as you know. Now, the reason this is in here is because I did a previous Miltonduff where I lost my mind because I swear to God that was peated. Lightly peated, but there was peat in there. And I enjoyed the heck out of it, but I really want to see... I really want to try another Miltonduff just to see, like, what is going on there. And here we go. Here's a straightforward, young bourbon cask version. And there's no peat. I mean, it's, yummy is the first phrase that comes to mind. Fruit pie, like pear pie. Yeah, pear cobbler. Yeah, that's what this smells like. Spicy pear cobbler. So take a little bit of white pepper and just sprinkle it on top of your pear cobbler, and that is what this smells like. Maybe sprinkle a couple of like wildflowers on there too. Drizzle of clover honey. That's most of what this is. This is a very simple nose. Not very simple. I mean, there's things going on, but it's not. We're not approaching where that. I forget the vintage. That the other Miltonduff was. Okay, so there's some vanilla. There's a little bit of a. I'm gonna call that a s'mores component. Or maybe like oatmeal with a big old thing of dark chocolate in it, something like that. Maybe a little bit of like a coffee bean thing, like a What kind of coffee bean? I just remember, like Guatemalan coffee bean, light roast, wash process. But really, this is really dominated by pear cobbler, and I'm okay with that on the palate. Yeah, this is really like Miltonduff as I remember it. Which is to say, quite yummy, honestly. But it's not boxing in the same league as these first two. So very, very kind of, again, pear cobblery with a lot of pepper on it kind of rival. You got your fruit filling, and you got your crust, you got all that, and you got your white pepper. A couple of wildflowers. I'm very similar to the nose. A couple of wildflowers. Touch of like a dried grassy component in there as well, which is kind of fun. Honey, clover honey. Graininess, oatmeal, slightly overcooked oatmeal. Lightly ashy, little campfire ash. I don't mind too much. I mean, yeah, okay. Context. This is not boxing with these first two here, but it's also way, way cheaper than these first two here. Feels kind of presents a little bit spicy, but I think that's just the alcohol. It's 61 something. I'm sorry, 51. Okay, so that's 57.1, but still presenting a little bit prickly. That might be an issue. I want to see what water does with this. Mouth presence is not too bad, with the exception of the mouth length. Everything is right up front. Nothing is getting back to my tonsils. And for, the under 40 euros that they're charging for this is fine. Like, this is, break this out with half a couple teaspoons of water for Grandpa. He's happy. Pour this in July, or as if you're in Chicago here for fifth summer here in the middle of September. Pour this in a glass with a couple of ice cubes and just sit on the porch and enjoy. Like, there's not a whole lot to this. There's a lot more to this than there is to like a lot of basic blends and things like that. But by the context, there's not a lot to this. But it's certainly enjoyable, and I want to see what water does to it. 2, 3, 4. I think this will do 5. I'm not going to waste my time just checking. I really want the water to improve the mouth presence on this. But before then, we must move on and take a little bit of an ABV step back to taste some Tormores. Tormore, another distillery which on paper you would struggle to see why anyone would care. Very recently built, very cool building actually. Like, go look at pictures of Tormore. It's kind of amazing. It looks like you'd have like a period drama set there or something. It looks really cool. But, no worm tubs, nothing particularly exciting about it, except until you stick your nose in. There is how do I put this? There is an estery component of Tormore that is, let me smell one of these. Yep. Oof. There is an estery component of Tormore, which I feel like a lot of rum drinkers would kind of enjoy. You'll never mistake it for a rum. this is clearly like in the malt whiskey category, but like there's something about it, the parade of flowers and fruit that you get from Tormore's that's really weird in the context of malt whiskey, and I could see it appealing to rum heads. This particular one, it's an old particular. Well, I didn't even mean to make a pun there. It's a 13-year-old from 2010. Refill Bourbon Barrel. This is Douglas Lying, DL17588, and I think this was a K&L pick. Yeah, K&L Wines. Thanks, Joe. So, refill bourbon. You are not going to get a lot of wood influence on this, and you don't. 48% alcohol, so we're stepping down a bit. I need to figure out what I'm smelling here. I'm stalling. It's both obnoxiously fruity. Just take some pears, quinces, cut them up, drizzle honey all over them. So it's obnoxiously fruity, but very grainy at the same time. There's like a whole wheat bread component to this. Almost a beery component to this. Yeah, like whole wheat bread that's been like, I don't know, macerating in like a wheat beer or something, like a Hefeweizen or something like that. That's kind of the vibe on this. Gun to my head, I mean, I don't know if it's that much more complex than the Miltonduff. But it's such a fascinating profile. So there's some white pepper, dill, that's all I'm getting right now. I'm going to add some water and we'll see. But yeah, honeyed quince and pear, white pepper, and just like really intense graininess, bordering on beeriness on the palate. I don't think I'm going to score this very high, but I like it. Yeah, I'm enjoying the lack of overt wood influence. Could I find a vanilla bean in here somewhere if I really wanted to? Yeah, probably, but it's so not making a difference in this profile. It really tastes like malt whiskey eau de vie to some extent. And the flavor wise, very much like the nose, we're dominating on pear, quince, a little bit of Granny Smith apple, but just a touch. Different honeys, wildflower honey, blossom honey. I will need a bit more of this. But yeah, it's got that weird wheat beer thing going on. Plus, like the whole grain bread thing. White pepper. The first sip I had, I was not convinced by the mouth presence on this, but it's coming around. It's definitely light. This is not, there are whiskeys that will wreck your palate halfway through a festival or something. This is not one of those. This is one of those where you will taste it and say, interesting, and then kind of move on and maybe even forget about it. But there's like this character here. It's hanging on. There's a little bit of tonsil tickling happening. It's raw, but it doesn't feel raw. It doesn't have a prickliness to it. It really feels like a good malt eau de vie, and that's the best I can do with that. So let's give it some water. We'll come back. Is 1 squirt going to be enough? I'll do like a couple drops more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tormore number 2. Is this another Signatory? Yes, I think it is. Tormore, 2015. 9-year-old. 100 Signatory Vintage 100 Proof Edition number 45 from Tormore Distillery. This is a mix of first fill Oloroso sherry butts and bourbon barrels. So that's interesting. It's a blend of different barrel types, which could give us an indication of where, if Elixir ever finally puts out an official range, what that might taste like. So I'm very curious. 57.1% alcohol. What in the hell? Okay. I mean, oh, Jesus. Okay, it smells a lot like the first profile. If you took all that, you know, your pear and your quince and your beeriness, and you just kind of like dunked it in leather and like beef broth. That is what it smells. Incredibly savory. Like, this is not like fruity sherry. This is like, you know, you're in the back of a meat shop, and some of the stuff is starting to get old. Oh, it smells a little bit gross, but I kind of like it. Yeah, like old leather, beef broth, like there's a couple of steaks lying around. Like the fruit on this it's not coming from the sherry. It's not. It's just the that kind of eau de vie of pear, eau de vie of quince kind of character coming from the the distillate. Graininess, yeah, there's an oatmeal component to this, or maybe cream of wheat. The Hefeweizen thing is back, but it's so buried in the savoriness of the sherry. I'm a little scared to taste this. White pepper, black pepper actually. Orange peel. Wow, okay. All right. Very interesting nose. I feel like if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, stay the hell away from this, because this is going to give you it's going to give you some bad energy. You're going to get bad vibes from this. All right, on the palate. I'm pretty sure this is awesome. I'm not sure what to do with this. Like, So in some ways, I'm used to the reverse experience of this. I am used to malts, where you have a very grungy distillate. Think Macallan. Think Knockdhu. Really good at Knockdhu. Perfect example. You have Knockdhu, and then you have like or Macallan or something, and you have sherry providing like fruit and happy deliciousness on top of that. This is the exact reverse. You have a very aggressively fruity distillate with an incredibly savory, grungy sherry cask, and if the bourbon casks are in there, they aren't talking very much. But this is kind of awesome. Not gonna lie. Oh my god, that's disgusting and I love it. All right, so very much like the nose in lots of ways. You have a beautiful, bright laser beam, like a plasma beam of pear and quince and a little bit of apple in there, and a burst of flowers, kind of cutting through and making things happy. And it's like just an onslaught of beefy, leathery cowness elsewhere in the profile. So much like broth and like bone marrow and leather and just, it's, I feel like I'm eating a whole cow right now. But you have, my mouth is also being shot up by fruit and flowers. What in the holy hell? Very, very, very unusual profile. But, like, if I'm judging this, there's complexity to this. Like, there's mouth presence to this. It's punchy. This is pretty good. I don't... Even more so than some of the profiles over this way, this is... I don't know. Like, these are pretty divisive, too. But this feels even more divisive than that. Like, this is really savory stuff. But it's also really fruity stuff at the same time. It's just... I don't know. I'm going to add some water. I don't know what's happening. I don't understand anything. 3, 4... Let's just do 5. Let's just go straight into it. Oh, hey. and this is why I do these videos. Yeah, okay. Let us review this last one, which is, it's the Dramfool. I have not reviewed a Dramfool before. This is from the Middle Cut series that they do. It's a Tormore 2010, another one. We had a previous one here. And it is a bourbon barrel. And it is really high proof, 61.5%, 12-year-old. I won't read off the barrel number. I will put the notes below. Very much like the first Tormore, but with more of a barrel backbone to it. So yeah, huge amounts of pear, honey, quince, apple, some flowers. The Hefeweizen thing, that's still there. But then you were getting vanilla and s'mores on top of that. Certainly like a coffee touch, espresso maybe. Espresso grinds, let's go with that. There's a funky smokiness to this too, which is not... it's not peat. But it's... It's almost like a southern barbecue thing where you know, some of the chips are oak, but there's some other things going in there. There's some cherry wood going in there. Maybe even a little hickory. So mixed hardwood smoke. Interesting. Smells yummy. Oh, and there's also like just some straight up like fresh, hot, sweet oatmeal coming through. All right, on the palate. What I've learned today is if you are not drinking Tormore, you are missing out. Oh my, these last two alone, these are blowing my mind a little bit. What is happening on the back end of that? Holy cow. That's, yeah, okay. Where do I start with this? I know what I'm tasting. I just figured it out. I figured out what I'm tasting. Okay, so on the front end of this, you were getting your big old fruity profile, your pear, your quince, your a little bit of apple, honey, graininess, whole wheat bread, and it's augmented by woodiness. So s'mores, campfire, vanilla, touch of like a tea component. What is that? Yeah, I don't know what tea that is. It's like some kind of black tea, a little bit vague black tea, a little bit of coffee too. Where this gets interesting is on the back end, where you get that kind of mixed hardwood thing. It kind of just explodes onto the palate as you're transitioning into the finish, and then that combines with the kind of like the Hefeweizen thing. Wasn't speaking so much on the front end of this going into the mid palate, but on the back end it suddenly like comes to life along with the hardwood smoke thing. So the impression is like a hardwood smoked Hefeweizen finish. It's really weird, but I think I love it. Oh, and there's some like vanilla ice cream thrown in there for fun. Oh my god, this is fantastic. I love this. Yeah, hardwood smoked Hefeweizen plus some vanilla ice cream and some black pepper, and that's your finish. It is completely bonkers. I have never tasted anything quite like this. And that's why this series exists. So you can know that things like this are out there. Wow, okay. I'm going to add some water to this, and we'll see what happens. That's awesome. Hand this to me neat. I like the insanity on this is going to make me think it's an ASM. It's going to make me think someone in America has come up with this through like weird malt smoking or something like that. But no, it's just a basic malt whiskey from a boring space cider that you don't care about, and it's completely insane. Okay, let's go back through these. I am delighted right now. I could not be happier. This is fantastic. The only one I'm a little bit disappointed with is the Miltonduff, and that's just because it tastes like a regular Miltonduff. Yeah, let's just go back through these. All right, starting again with the Inchgower. Oh, yeah, it's. If anything, the fruit has kind of stepped forward with this a little bit. You're almost getting like you're getting the pear and the apple, but you're also almost getting a gooseberry thing with this now. But no, there's still the leafiness, the herbaceousness, the maritime element. Plus the wood, the campfire-y s'mores thing. All right. Let's see what we got. Did it sweeten up? Let's see what we got. Give me Give me delicious. You were beast before. Give me delicious now. It sweetened up on me. Sometimes they just do what you want them to do. Oh, it is still such an aggro profile. I mean, it like curries and tea leaves. This is not friendly stuff, but when you add water, like you do start to get some cream soda elements, vanilla candy, more like sweet graininess. I'm real happy with this. All of y'all on whiskey base can stick it. I'm sorry. This is yummy. Yeah, this is. I mean, mouth presence really hasn't stepped up a whole lot. It's about where it was, but it does present sweeter. It does present just more delicious, and I feel that's worth a plus. So I'm going to give this 88 plus out of 100. And yeah, I am very, very happy to have this in my collection. Do be aware if you see that score and you get excited. It's still a profile people are not going to like because it's a little bit of a beast. It's a little bit unfriendly, but I think this is a very good bottle of malt. All right, moving on to the Knockdhu. 16-year-old. Let's see if this has kind of pulled itself together. It was a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde before. Nose is about the same. It still smells like very, very fruity. It's funny because I'm guessing Signatory is using the same casks same season casks for a lot of its sherry stuff, and the Tormore sherry cask is just so much more like savory and beefy. This is just fruity and happy. Chocolate orange, Swisher sweets. I did the thing before. It hasn't changed much on the nose. More peppery, maybe a little bit more of a stemmy, tea leafy thing coming through. Orange peel. Let's see what happens on the palate. I mean, yeah, it has integrated more. I'm still not sure if this is... Well, it has and it hasn't. How do I explain this? It still feels like this is a bottle where you have the happy, fruity, figgy notes. Fig fruit roll up. Swisher sweets. Candied orange. All that goodness. And then you have the grungy, grainy tea leaf and pepper thing of the distillate of Knockdhu. And it's all together now that I've added some water. But it all still feels a little bit not totally balanced, a little bit incoherent, a little bit, personality disordered. I don't know about this. It's fun. It's interesting. What has happened with water, and I think this has improved with water. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, this is better. This is better than it was. You don't have that kind of slam switch from the fruity, sweetie goodness up front to the Anok austerity on the back end. It's all kind of like the Anok has kind of moved forward, and the fruitiness has kind of moved back, and they've kind of met in the middle. But it still feels like it's not totally balanced in terms of what it's doing. I don't know. I'm torn on this. I appreciate the complexity because it is complex. It's got complexity, but it's got mouth presence. It's got punchiness. It's got power. But I certainly I don't think I want to own a bottle of this. It's just a little bit. It's okay, as a reviewer, this is more fun to think about than just like having an Ardbeg here and saying, it's an Ardbeg 88. You know, it's better, it's more fun than that, but this is, I don't resort to question mark scores very often. But I'm going to call this like an 86 question mark. Because, I mean, depending on where you catch me, I don't know where I'd land on this. I could land like at an 85. I could land at an 87. So I'm just going to call it like somewhere in the middle with a question mark. Because I feel like I haven't totally understood what this thing is. And so I'm just going to leave it at that. Leave it saying I don't feel confident in my score at all, and we're going to move on. Miltonduff. 8-year-old. Oh, in some ways, this is like after this thing, after the Knockdhu. This feels like comfort food. You know, it's just simple. It just wants to make me happy. Yeah, it's shortbready, fruity, happy, white peppery, vanilla wafer goodness. And that's about all it is. I mean, development from where it was before, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It smells exactly the same. It smells like fruity shortbread cookies. That's where we are. With pepper. But I can't be mad. Honestly, for something that's under, like 30, 40 euros, I can't be upset at this on the palate. Is that better than the Anok? Hold on. God almighty, I might like this better than the Anok. A little, man. Okay, so what this has done with water is substantially improved its mouth presence. The mouth length before, which I talked about, was really kind of concentrated up front, all like front of the mouth stuff. Now with water, it's really kind of going back and trying to attack my tonsils and my throat a little bit, and that's making me happy. You've also got a little bit of more widening out of the profile. You're getting some like weird. What is that? A little bit of a grainy but weird note, herbaceous grainy notes, almost a grassiness to this. I don't know. There's some complexity coming in. Almost a herbaceous, slightly, like minerally thing. Like there's some rocks and stuff now. You know what? Well, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the Anok, so I would score this an 85 plus. 85 plus. And maybe I'm being too nice to the Anok. I'm not sure. I am so confused by this stuff. I don't know. On a bad day, I feel like the Miltonduff wipes the floor with this Anok. On a good day, I feel like the Anok is better. But yeah, I don't know what to do with these two. If I were to own one, it would be the Miltonduff, hands down. But I am intrigued by this by the Knockdhu here. So I don't know what to do. Let us move on. Oh right, this is the Tormore that was really kind of eau de vie-ish, right? On the nose. It's so like, yeah. It's fruit intense. Pear, mostly pear kinds of fruit. But at the same time, it's so grainy and like beery. This is fun. There is both a distinct, like, if you could strip malt whiskey down to its essentials, to its fundamentals, this is what it would smell like, kind of thing. But at the same time, it smells like both. It smells like really distinctively Tormore, because of that intense, like, fruity floral hit on the palate. Here we go. It didn't like the water. This does not like the water. Ooh. So water brings out a kind of a citrus bitterness to this, which is not very nice. Well, like a grainy citrus bitterness. One more time. Well, I don't know. I'm very confused right now. I think the Anok just kind of like threw me off a little bit, and we're not even to these monsters here. I definitely did like this more without water. There's something fun to this though. Like I'm enjoying the really intense grainy character. Yeah, the wheat beer character to this, married to the super fruity floral thing. Super unusual. But then there's that kind of like unhappy back end when you add water to this. I'll call this like an 85 minus. Because that's sort of what it feels like. It feels like, yeah, it's a little bit better, but it gets a minus because it doesn't like the water. Oh, God. I should have had a few more carbs before I started this tasting because the alcohol is hitting me pretty hard right now. Okay. Back to beef malt here. Let's see what we got. God. Yeah, Signatory, Tormore, 100 proof edition, 9-year-old, and it still smells. This is such a weird whiskey. I mean, very similar on the nose to where it was before. Intense distillate-driven fruit, malty fruit, pear and quince in particular. Actually, there's a little bit of wheat beer coming through now. But then just like the sherry is leaning hard into beef broth, leather, cow stuff. But I kind of like it. On the palate, at first I didn't like where this had gone with water, but with second sip, I'm changing my mind. This has gotten like a little bit more peppery on the palate. There's a little bit more like a spicy character to this. But I think that's added some dimension, actually. Yeah, it's very much that weird, like, fruit eau de vie plus Hefeweizen character married to this intensely, like, beefy thing. And now you're getting like a peppery character on top of that. What and something like almost a candy. What is that? Something carrot like that reminds me of candy. Yeah, so you're introducing with water. You're introducing like a peppery cotton candy element to this. And I don't think it makes it better or worse. It's just a little bit different from there it was. God almighty, how do I score this? I like it better than the Anok. I don't like it as much as the Inchgower. Very. You have to be okay with this very unusual combination of a super duper fruity spirit with intense, like, beefy, savory character coming from the cask. But if you are, I mean, this is absolutely worth a grab for the price they're asking. I will call this an 87 steak. I will like try my best to like draw a steak with like a bone. 87 steak because it is so beefy. Once you're past the distillate, and I don't even think that was the weirdest of the Tormores. Let's go to this last one, the Dramfool. On the nose, now with water. I am so ready to take a nap right now. My brain is overloading with weird malt stuff. I mean, yeah, very much where it was before. We're still on. It's glass 4. It's the eau de vie Tormore plus more oak plus that kind of like hardwood smoke thing. Basically where it was before. On the palate, this is awesome. This is awesome. It's so water really kind of brings out the beeriness, the Hefeweizen character to this. It really, like, I feel like I'm tasting eau de vie of Hefeweizen right now. And I'm okay with that. I'm enjoying that. But it's so fruity at the same time. It's really like the... but you got the hardwood smoke in there. I was going to say that the cask is stepping back a little bit, but no. You still got that kind of like the hardwood smoke, the campfire smoke thing, like playing into this. Oh, whatever is going on here. And I don't fully understand it. This is a fantastic malt. Terrific length, really dominant mouthfeel. The finish is just sustaining and sustaining and sustaining. And it's not just the pepper, the structural stuff. This is the fruit, the flowers. It's the extra things that are holding on. This is an 89 pointer. This is very, very good. Clearly, we all need to drink more Tormores, and I need to find myself some more Dramfool stuff. God damn. 89 points. Certainly an unusual profile. Like this, again, if you handed this to me blind, I would think it's got to be the Americans. It cannot be Scotland. This is too weird. But 89 points. I cannot deny the style of that, the quality. Yeah, this has been fun. And let's go through these. In last place, and it's still pretty darn good, is this super duper cheapy old particular Tormore, 85 minus. It's I like it. I like the kind of eau de vie nature of this, the naked character of this, but it does not like water, so do be warned. The Miltonduff does like water, actually, and not a ton to it, but it's delicious. Certainly not up there with that one I tried before, which I still cannot explain, but yeah, I like this. I still like this. 85 plus. And then you have this Enoch thing, 86 minus. I got nothing. I have no explanation of what this is. the Signatory Tormore 87 steak, and then my Inchgower 21-year-old 88 plus, and then the Dramfool Tormore 89 points, and that is your lineup. And yeah, I am going to go eat some more carbs because I'm feeling this lineup right now. Thank you for watching, and cheers.